Now, the shares of Nvidia finished the day trading down almost 17%, and this is as a result of what we saw yesterday or what we saw over the weekend from the company called DeepSeek, which is an AI platform that is not only was built cheap, but it is able to perform other AI platforms from US-based companies like ChatGPT, like AI platforms from Microsoft, Google. It is also able to beat the OpenAI platforms that are made by the US-based companies, which is something that obviously it's very, very interesting. I mean, who would have thought that we would see Nvidia losing over $500 billion in a day, which, by the way, it was the biggest loss that was ever witnessed from a single stock. This just shows you that things can just change like that, which therefore means even to those that are owning Chinese equities, just know that what we saw onto Nvidia, we could see one day Chinese equities like Baba, Neo, and the others growing by just making a short squeeze and growing so high in one day, so much in one day, in a way that those that are not taking the low trading prices opportunities will definitely regret. So this is what we are seeing. It appears that obviously big investors are flocking into Chinese equities because these stocks are undervalued, extremely undervalued. I mean, companies like Alibaba, they've got PE ratio below 20. Companies like Neo, they have got PS ratio below 1. But these are the companies that fundamentally they continue growing, but the market just don't want to reward these Chinese equities. But it is for this reason that we are seeing quite a number of big financial institutions coming and wanting to buy Chinese equities. I mean, last week we were talking about a Norway fund, in fact a 1.8 trillion Norway fund wanting to buy Chinese equities or preparing to buy Chinese equities because they see the opportunity. This was even before the massive launch of DeepSeek, which it's a game changer for China, which is something that, of course, it's pretty good. I mean, yesterday we did speak on how DeepSeek can be able to help Chinese EV makers like Neo, Baba, and the others to grow their company. I think what China is trying to do or trying to say to the US is that regardless of the restrictions that was made by the Biden administration to not send some of their AI chips to China, it did not stop China from producing some pretty good, decent innovations by the little they had. I mean, China here is trying to just show the US that they are able to do more with the little they have. They can do more, and not just only do more, but even outpace the kind of technology we see into some of the, of course, US-based companies like Nvidia. It is for this reason that we saw Nvidia's market cap being wiped by around $589 billion. Something that is very, very interesting. I mean, China, it's coming. Unfortunately, this just shows us that, or it shows the US that obviously you cannot stop China from where they are going. You cannot stop China from building their own AI. I mean, if I had to look into our very own Neo, you will know that because of the chip restrictions that Biden administration launched or has been doing from time and time again, Neo ended up realizing that they need to build their own chips. And not only will this help them hedge against the restrictions of chips that sometimes we witness from the US to Chinese EV makers, but it will also help them boost their gross margins, which is something that is very, very interesting and amazing. It shows the progress that the more US throws the restrictions onto China, the more China will try their best to find ways that mitigate the problems that comes with the restrictions that US sometimes just bring or introduces to try to slow down the progress from China. So this is what we saw, yeah, like I said, the future looks bright for Neo. The future looks bright for Chinese equities or Chinese companies because of DeepSeek. So this Chinese breakthrough of DeepSeek, it is very, very important to China because they built it, like I said, with just a couple of millions, whilst those other AI platforms from the US-based companies were built by tons and tons of millions, which shows you of how efficient, which shows you of how DeepSeek is able to do the kind of technology that the US spend millions, if not billions, by just $5 million, couple of $1 million, they managed to launch this. And you can imagine if they had to spend maybe $10 million just this year, where they can take DeepSeek to. I mean, if my memory serves me well, OpenAI intends on spending $5 billion this year to advance the OpenAI platform. Google plans to spend $51 billion on to advance their OpenAI platforms, and Microsoft intends on spending $13 billion. I mean, this, I can tell you, these companies are feeling so much heat because they are spending a lot of money, whilst on the other hand, DeepSeek is just using a small fraction of what they are using to build DeepSeek and make it perform even better than the platforms that we are seeing from these US-based companies. So this is what we are seeing. This is good news, and I think this is just the beginning of a new era in China. This is just the beginning of what we'll see. We are still going to see a quite number of breakthroughs coming from China, and I think we just need to brace ourselves. I am happy because I'm already investing onto NEO, Chinese equity that I like very well. And this, when the AI, when China advances, it will also advance EV stocks like NEO, which is why I remain long and strong onto NEO. See you in my next video. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. And that's all from me, man. And God bless you all.
Schmidt is singing a different tune. Here he is on ABC's This Week.
Well, I used to think we were a couple of years ahead of China, but China has caught up in the last 6 months in a way that is remarkable. The fact of the matter is that a couple of the Chinese programs, one, for example, is called DeepSeek, looks like they've caught up.
It raises major questions about just how wide OpenAI's moat really is.